Oh, and we're back. That's right. You get us twice in one day. This it's it's a big deal, you know. It's like Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, like all wrapped into one big amazing ball of amazing. Yeah. So we're back to talk about tonight's Impact, which wasn't an Impact. It was actually the best of Impact 2014. Not necessarily sure they should have called it the best of Impact because it should have been the best of TNA 2013. Because when I think of Impact, I think of the weekly show. I don't think of like the pay-per-views as Impact. I think of the pay-per-views as TNA because it's still TNA even though they try to change it to Impact. Um, but anyway, it is, of course, hosted by Jeremy Borash and the the lovely. Do you want to take this one? You like to take the ladies, you know. I'll give you the who is that beautiful co-host that he had there? Yeah, was you?
The lovely, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the I think pregnant, Christy Hemme. So yeah, Christy Hemme. I don't know if you caught this. For some reason tonight, Christy Hemme kind of, and it's maybe because she doesn't get this role a lot. She kind of felt like Renee Young tonight. Like they remind me of each other a little bit.
Yeah, I felt like it was awkward because like Jeremy Borash is just standing there, not sure what to do, because I don't think he's ever stood next to a woman of that attraction in his life. Uh,
He gets all the knockouts, man. Come on, he gets all the knockouts.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna start this out. We started out with a match Angle versus Rude at Genesis. It was a steel cage match. And the stipulation in this one was if Angle loses, he will never be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. As we know, he obviously won because he's clearly in the Hall of Fame right now. Um, it showed the crazy moonsault that he had that he missed on uh, Bobby Roode, which was just it looked like it hurt. It like there's no way that does not hurt. I mean, ow. Um, they didn't show much of this match though. It was really short. It was kind of a really quick, which a lot of most of the show was just quick kind of um, highlights of each match that they showed. So we didn't see like full matches, which I would have liked to see in a couple of them. But um, it was a good match. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, that moonsault. Oh my goodness. That's probably how he blew his knee out with that freaking ridiculous moonsault that they allowed him to miss. That was. I mean, that was crazy, man. Like he went up there because I remember it. I like remember almost a lot of these moments that I saw tonight, and it was kind of cool to like go back and be like, oh man, I actually remember that because I know with 2013 I missed like the ending portion of 2013 I think, because I missed the whole Aces and Eights, the first part of it. I saw like the first part of it, but I missed the middle part of it, and then I saw the end, so it was like kind of weird. Um, but like with 2014, I've seen like all of these moments, so it was kind of cool to go back and watch these. A lot of times, I'm not too fond of the best of the show type of thing or whatever, but like I don't know, and it's not because TNA is like special to me either. Like it's actually cool when you actually can remember these type of this type of stuff. And I remember, I think I did these, I probably did these reviews, and I remember talking about how good the pay-per-views were early on, especially because we didn't get a lot towards the end of the year, but it seemed like we got a lot at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you've been watching all year, but
Yeah. But I like how you said how they allowed him to miss that. I could see them in the backstage. Okay, we're gonna let you miss it. We're gonna let you do it. Go ahead. You're gonna completely eat it. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm just
Uh,
glad it didn't like land on his neck or anything, because that would have been just terrible.
Especially with his pre-existing neck issues. But it was a good match. I would probably go back and watch it maybe once. I don't know that it would be a match that I would watch over and over again. Because it was good, but it wasn't one of the best matches that I've seen. But anyway, our next match that they reviewed was Jeff Hardy versus Magnus. This was the World Heavyweight Title Dixieland match, where Jeff Hardy loses and leaves TNA. He says, can't do it. Dixie won. I'm leaving, but we know he's not leaving. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. We knew it.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to give you a hint.
Yeah. uh, this was, of course, the where we weren't sure if Jeff Hardy was gonna take Dixie's side, if he was gonna turn heel, things like that. Um, he ends up basically being screwed over, against the odds with EC3, Rockstar Spud, and Magnus wins the title. But um, again, it was a good match. I didn't like the following Magnus title run, but a lot of us didn't. Any thoughts on this match?
It was interesting. I like the design because I'm always a big fan of the whole like stuff being different, like having different types of matches. Like, you don't see was it like a cage match into a ladder match or something like that? I can't remember exactly what it was. Because I
It,
watched that, but I didn't get a chance to really sit down and watch it.
yeah, I was trying to remember. I think wasn't it? Didn't they have to like escape the cage and then get up the ramp and the
Yeah,
get the
I'm pretty
title?
sure that's what it was. They had to like escape the cage, and then they had to go back and go grab the title from whatever the random spot it was hanging from the ramp. It was probably just Sting holding the title up from the rafters.
Here you go, guys. Yeah, I think that was, and I like this match because I didn't want to see a match exactly like that, but I had an idea for a match that I wanted to see, like WWE or TNA do, where you have to escape the cage and then get a ladder back in the cage to get the title. This was a little bit different take on that. So TNA sort of listened to my idea, unlike Vince McMahon, who says he listens to the
Yeah,
people.
I just went back and rewinded it so I could kind of see what it was. It was a cage into a ladder match type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it was an okay match. I think at that time it was okay that Rockstar Spud and EC3 were kind of getting involved because it was the heel thing to do. But then over the next coming months it kind of got annoying. Every single match they were getting involved in, every couldn't win clean, which I think annoys us as wrestling fans. I mean, yeah, you're a heel, but you should be able to win clean at least, once, and he never did. Um, but then our next match, straight from the WWE, was AJ Styles versus Magnus, champion versus champion match. Where have we seen this before? Um, I feel like every company does this match now. Ring of Honor, I think, did it, and anyway, uh, basically the match is gonna decide the rightful champion. And all of AJ's backup was kind of taken out, so he was all by himself against the odds again. It was also a no disqualification match. So obviously Rockstar Spud and EC3 were involved until Sting came out and had AJ's back. Um, later on in the match, Bad Influence came out as well on Magnus's side. I completely forgot that they were involved in this match. I thought, for some reason, I was thinking that they were in Ring of Honor or back in Ring of Honor for a lot longer than I guess they have been. Because it feels like they've been out of TNA for a long time. Um, but they were in this match. Later, Rude gets involved. Hebner gets upset. Earl Hebner gets upset and leaves, and Dixie drags Brian Hebner out to be the. It was just kind of too much chaos in a match, I think. I think it kind of took it away from a little bit, but it was a good match. I actually think that all of the refs that TNA has were in this match, all three of them. I think that's all they have, like three refs in their entire company. And they were all in this match: Brian Hebner, Earl Hebner, and the bald dude.
Only one missing was Terry and Terrell with the Knockouts division.
But yeah, what did you think of this match that they reviewed?
Honestly, I thought this was a really good match. Especially going back and watching it, I thought this was one of the best matches of Magnus's heel run because Magnus's heel run was absolutely horrible. Magnus is a good heel. Like, I mean, like he can get good heel heat, and it may have been by association with Dixie Carter, but like I know me and Ryan have talked about it all the time. We used to do it all the time when he would come out. You know, he'd be like, "This is your world heavyweight champion," speaking, and just get booed out of the building. And it was so funny. I used to love it when he used to say that. And you know, like he had all the tools to be a great heel, and being English, I think, kind of just makes you even more of a heel because you know English people kind of show, especially in wrestling, kind of show like that snobby type of side. So I think you know he had a good thing going with the heel thing. I just wish they would have let him show off a little bit of what he could do, like kind of like they did with Lashley, which we'll talk about later. But you know they didn't let Lashley just sit there and just screw his way out of
Yeah.
wins.
I also think that him siding with Dixie Carter may have kind of been part of why we didn't like the heel run because it was almost too much. You know, if you look now at um, Magnus, he's a heel now, but it's just with Bram, and it's working. Like we like it. At least I like it anyway. It's not too much. You know, it's not with Dixie. It's not with Rockstar Spud. It's not with EC3. But it works. And he
What
does.
about Sting? That was I had a question about Sting. So Sting was involved in this match as AJ's only backup. At any point in this match, did you think Sting was gonna turn? Because that was like my main thought. Even watching it back, I was like, I can pretty sure remember that I was like, Sting. I feel like Sting's gonna turn tonight, just because like that was AJ's only backup, and that's kind of how it was. Like everyone just joins Dixie.
I I don't know. I may have thought of that back when I watched it the first time, but I don't remember. But I I don't know. I think that would be a little bit too much of against the odds with AJ. You know, you got to give your face some, you know, glimmer of hope. You know, I mean, he's not Cena. You know, he can't just come up over any obstacle. You know, I mean, nobody can do that. You know, because except for Super Cena. But but yeah, there was a chance that it could have happened, but I don't know. Yeah, put the belt away. It's not even the right belt. It's that's still not even the right belt.
Close it up.
um, but yeah, you can put them both together, and they're still not the right belt. But anyway, they kind of showed the debut of Willow. which was cool. It felt like it was really short, Willow's run in TNA. Like you blink and you missed it. Um, they also showed the debut of EC3. Any thoughts on either of those debuts?
Two of my favorite things of the year. The year, the year, the year, the year, the year. Sorry, got a little EC3 there. I really loved Willow for some reason. I did. I really gravitated towards Willow. Me and Ryan both. And I wish Ryan was here because I think some of these moments would ring a bell with him because he didn't start watching until middle of the year when MVP came. That's about the time. I think it's the first show we actually watched when the investor.
Where is Ryan?
I don't know.
He was supposed to be back for this show.
He was, and I'm gonna have to talk to him and get him back on. But like, because I think a lot of these moments he would have definitely remembered and definitely, had some good input on. I wish he was here because the Willow thing, he loved Willow. Like me and him would just see each other on camera, so we'd be like, "What?" and just start Willow laughing all the time. And I wanted a Willow umbrella for the longest time, or just a black and white umbrella would have been fine because the Willow umbrella is too expensive. But these were two of my favorite moments of the year, Willow and EC3, because EC3, I remembered it from WWE a little bit, not too much, but I remembered enough to remember I saw him somewhere. And obviously the Willow character was straight from the basement of Jeff Hardy, so it was basically. I really wish they would have changed his moveset just a little bit more, though, because it just kind of felt like Jeff Hardy in another costume. I wish they would have kind of, changed his moveset up just a little bit. A little bit more than they did. They changed it a tad, but not too much.
Yeah. I also kind of wish they would have given him. I mean, I liked the mask and everything, but the rest of his like attire
The
kind
shoulder
of.
pads? You didn't like the shoulder pads? Those shoulder pads he wore the first night?
It kind of felt cheap and like they just kind of threw stuff together and they were like, yeah, this works, go out. Um, like the pants that he wore just kind of looked like sleep pants that you would buy at like Walmart. They look so
Did he
cheap.
like not wear a shirt the entire like I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure like it was just the pants and no shirt for the longest time.
Yeah.
I mean they would have been better off with the shoulder pads, man.
It just looked weird. It didn't look right. Anyway, moving on before we get on a rant about Jeff Hardy's pants, which is a weird rant to get off on, but haha, get off on, get it, because it's a joke about. Anyway, um, we have Kurt Angle versus EC3. This was Impact May 8th, 2014. Um, I like this match because it really told the story of Kurt Angle's knee injury really well. EC3 kept going at it, and it actually kind of gave out on Angle a couple of times in the match, which finally somebody actually works an injury in a match. You know, I hate the guys who like will constantly get like attacked in one part of their body and like work it for like 2 minutes and then get up like nothing happened. But he actually really worked it. Obviously EC3 won, but this was a good match. It was actually a good match that we got on Impact. Uh, what are your thoughts?
This was I think this started the debut of the vaunted leg lock, which was probably my favorite move of EC3 when he was doing it. I wish he would get back to that because I do like the leg lock and I like the way he says it. I was really, 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 really excited for this feud. I really don't know why. I think it was just because I knew that Angle was probably going to put EC3 over, and you had the ankle lock going up against the leg lock. So it was gonna be something great, and I was ready. Plus, I was ready to see EC3 in a legit feud with someone. And plus, it like one more thing, it kind of like got pushed off and pushed off and pushed off because like we got it, and then Angle got injured. Then we get it again, Angle gets injured. So like that's kind of like how it's been with the EC3 Angle thing. EC3 just you've taken him out. Just don't even don't even feud with him. He can't. The knee. Just
Uh, anyway, next they kind of go over the James Storm Gunner storyline, where Gunner's father is actually involved. Um, there was a part where Gunner is handcuffed to the bottom rope, and his dad tries to help him, and James Storm hits him with a beer bottle, which it was a good storyline. I thought. I don't always like when they get family members involved because sometimes it's kind of it's either gets dumb or I feel like it crosses the line a little bit. But this one was worked well, you know. And now we have a match on Impact of March 27th of 2014. James Storm versus Gunner. Um, there was a part in this match where Storm was on the apron, getting back in the ring. There's a table on the outside of the ring, and Gunner spears him through the ropes onto the table, but he didn't really. It looks like a bad landing because Storm kind of lands more on his ass than on his back, and it looked like it didn't work out too well, but I guess they were okay. Nobody got seriously injured. Gunner wins and gets revenge for his dad, which was cool. What did you think of this match?
was the this might have been the second match. I can't remember which match in the order it was, but I liked this match. This was one of those things where James Storm really got really into his heel turn. I think the family member aspect really built, like it really started to build on James Storm's heel turn because James Storm has kind of been like the sorry, like and all of that, and he's always been Southern guy that everybody loves. So like with this heel turn and the way he did it, I think it worked well. As far as the match goes, I don't think this was the best match by these two. There was another one. I think they were in. I think it was a steel cage match. I can't remember exactly, but they had a steel cage match. I remember the finish though. It was like Gunner suplex James Storm through the chairs that were set up in like sitting position, and they actually hit it a little bit better that time too. So that I think that match may have been the better one. Maybe they'll show it next week. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. They also showed, moving on anyway, they showed the debut of the Investor, who turned out to be MVP. I was kind of disappointed, to be honest. Love MVP, but I don't know. I don't know who I was expecting, but it wasn't MVP. I don't know what you thought of the debut and the reveal that it was MVP. What did you think?
Yeah, like I said, this was the part of TNA that Ryan actually started watching, and this was like one of the most exciting moments for me, just because like I hadn't seen MVP in so long. I stayed away from like the dirt sheets and stuff like that, and the rumors and stuff like that. Like I stayed away from that stuff, and I had no idea who this investor was, and like I think it was so exciting because MVP was the farthest thing from my mind. Like I was thinking maybe it was like a new debut of someone or something like that. But it did turn out to be MVP, and um, as he got into his face run as the director of operations, I like that a lot better than I like this heel run because we were getting a lot of heel authority figures like all the time.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of the time there's way too many heel authority figures, and it's like I want something different from each company. I don't want the same storyline with different people. But anyway, we go to March 9th of 2014, we had the Lethal Lockdown match. This was MVP's team, which consisted of MVP, the Wolves, and Willow, versus Bobby Roode's team, which consisted of Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and the Bromans. I'm sure that my co-host likes that part. I believe he's a Bromans fan. Before the match, Dixie introduces her insurance policy and the special guest referee, which turned out to be, drumroll please, yeah, um, Bully Ray. Yeah, of course, Bully Ray turns on Dixie in this match and makes sure that MVP's team wins, so that basically MVP can be basically takes over operations. I believe the stipulation was. Um, Again, they didn't really show a lot of this match. They just kind of cut to when he turned on them. But as I recall, it was a pretty good match. What did you think?
Um, the only thing I didn't like about this, and this is really in hindsight now because I enjoyed it when I watched it the first time, and I still enjoyed it this time, but it was like it seemed really predictable now thinking about it because
Yeah,
really, what are you gonna do? MVP's the new guy in town. He's the guy that everyone wants to be, the director of operations or whatever. And we've been seeing Dixie for so long, so it really it wouldn't have made any sense if they would have went the Dixie route anyway. Um,
yeah, um, yeah. Uh, Moving on, because there really isn't much to say about that match. It was really predictable. Now that you think back on it, hindsight. Next, we have Bully Ray versus EC3. This was a Texas death match at Slammiversary. Um, One of the matches where they actually exposed the wooden platform of the ring, which finally shows people that no, it's not just a trampoline or a big puffy cloud of air that they're really landing on a mat about that thick and then wood. It's what they're landing on. So it hurts. I mean, I've actually been able to get into the TNA ring, meaning Kurt Angle and or was it Kurt Angle? No, it was Rob Van Dam and Mick Foley at the time. And when you're walking on it, you can feel the padding, but it's not a lot of padding. So when you're dropped on that, it's gonna hurt. It's yeah, it's gonna hurt. So that kind of shows a lot of the not so intelligent fans out there. Sorry, but you're out there. You really are. The ones who are like, haha, nothing hurts. Anyway, EC3 wins. I believe this was a count out. Where, if I'm not.
um, I don't know if it was a count out or if it was like, well, because it was a Texas death match, so I think it was like a last man standing type of match, if I remember.
Okay, I don't remember exactly what it was. Um, when I hear Texas Death Match, I thought they were gonna kill each other. I thought there was gonna be an actual murder.
Over your dead body. That's the main thing I remember from that.
But yeah, good match. This was the started the Bully Ray wanting to put every member of Dixie's kind of group faction through a table. So
Which
unfortunately,
did not happen. Bully, you better come back and finish what you started.
oh, he will. He will. Calm down. We'll get to that. He will. He does. He actually did. Do you remember that? He did. But we'll get to that. Um. Anyway, next they go over EY's Eric Young. If you don't know, EY's title win and his title run basically, um, which was cool. I miss it. I want it back. Please. I mean, I like Bobby Lashley more than Brock Lesnar, but I want EY back. I liked him. It was fun. He took every challenger. His first title defense was a Monsters Ball match. Come on. Come on. Um. Anyway, so we have Eric Young versus Austin Aries versus Bobby Lashley in a triple threat match for the title at Slammiversary in a steel cage. Yeah, it was a good match. I would definitely go watch it again. Uh, Eric retains, which I was happy about. It didn't really make sense at the time for Aries to win because Aries has already been champion a couple times. Bobby Lashley, I don't know, we were ready for him to win at the time. It was kind of more building him up still for that win. Um, but it was a good match. Any thoughts on EY's title run or this match?
Um, as far as his title run goes, um, number one, EY has the best elbow in the business right now. Um, yeah, he does. I said it.
It
Yeah.
might be ever. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't want to go that much on a limb, and then somebody leave me alone, and then I fall off. So I'm gonna definitely say right now, I'll think about that ever, because he puts a lot of heart and some soul into that.
It's either him or Macho Man. Those are the only two. It's it's close.
But one thing I hated about EY's title run was the Daniel Bryan comparisons. It frustrated me to no end. I was talking to Ryan because this was me and him watched it every week together practically, and basically like I was like, you know what? They're just coming up with stupid comparisons now. They're like, Eli has nipples, so does Daniel Bryan. So there we go. Like it was just like ridiculous. Like I was just clowning everyone who tried to compare it. But I mean, I didn't like the comparisons because this was I didn't think there was anything wrong with EY, the most over guy in the company at that point, getting the title. I don't, especially if they're vying for a TV deal as well. As far as the match goes, I love the match. I think it was a great fill-in match for the MVP injury that had went down because it kind of got thrown in a little bit because of MVP's random injury. It seemed like when Lashley speared himself through the cage door, ow, that hurt. I wouldn't, I wouldn't do that. But I was glad EY did retain because EY did deserve it. I wish he kind of would have had a little bit of a longer title run, but maybe we'll see one in the future. I'm not hinting at anything because I don't really know. I was just trying to say maybe TNA.
But but basically, the point that we're trying to get across to this, the major point is that Daniel Bryan and Eric Young both have nipples. That's the gist of it. They both have nipples. It's a fact. Anyway, we actually had a kind of a little not backstage segment because it wasn't backstage. It was a segment with Manic and what's this dude's name? Indian dude. I just call him Indian dude. You knew his name.
Mahabali Shera, I think. I still don't know his first name. Still don't know his
Mahabali.
first name. His second name. His last name is Shera, I think.
I'm just gonna call him Mahabali.
Yeah, just call him that.
Manic and Mahabali in the ring in a dark, kind of empty arena, kind of I guess like supposedly before the show. Manic saying, show me what you got, and they kind of wrestle a little bit. Mahabale does a really nice spine buster on Manic, and they show Storm on the outside, kind of doing a slow clap. It was like a heel kind of thing, like sarcastic, I guess. Manic crawls out of the ring and says, "Storm, you need to see this. You need to see this guy. I got to show you this guy. He's it." Storm says, "Shh," and gets in the ring with Mahabale. He says, "So you're the man Angle found, or Kurt Angle found. Manic just told me that you have great potential. I've even heard the future. I too can offer you a future of untold riches." And at this point, I was like, "Are we watching Aladdin right now? Untold riches. Where's the genie? Where's the lamp?" Like, but he says, "Not just for you, but for your family." And he says, "A family forever, where no one will mock you, where no one will make fun of you," which isn't that basically the same thing, mocking and making fun of? Just saying. From the way you walk to the way you talk. He says, "My future comes with a price. When I look into your eyes, I can see that you're lost. But soon, very soon, there will be an awakening." At this point, Storm is behind him and attacks him from behind and beats him down. What did you think of this segment?
Um, so I
Use the mic.
don't know if you caught this, but Mahabali Shera is the greatest seller of all time. That man got caught with like two punches and he was out. Like the man didn't move. I thought he died. I thought he died straight up. I thought he died. I looked over there. I was like, man, the dude is dead. James Storm, get off of it, man. No, he can't pledge to the revolution if he's dead. Like, are we really supposed to believe he got knocked out off of those two punches he hit him with?
It's that forearm to the back. If you hit the right spot, you're out.
It's that pledge to the revolution, man. That's what. That's what that pledge to the revolution.
But we'll get to a little bit more of this a little bit later on. Next is everyone's favorite part of any Impact show, the knockouts.
Brittany? Oh.
Well, I mean, close, but no, not Brittany. No. Okay, that is not what people's favorite part of the show is. Brittany's pants, or lack thereof, are the favorite part. Anyway, we're talking about Angelina Love's return and the return of the beautiful people and Madison Drain's refusal to rejoin the beautiful people. Because, come on, Madison. So this leads up to Angelina Love versus Madison Rain for the Knockouts title at Sacrifice. And all I really wrote for this match is this was a Knockouts match. That is literally all I wrote. This was a Knockouts match. Which is bad, because I really support women's wrestling, and I want to see good women's wrestling, but this was a Knockouts match. So, any thoughts on the Knockouts match?
Yeah, when they showed this as one of the biggest moments or best moments, I'm like, no, this match was not even that good. I was like, this no, like this was not even the best match of not in the knockouts of like this wasn't the best knockouts match of the month probably for that whatever month it was. I don't even know what month it was in, and it probably wasn't even the best match of the month. I don't know. It just wasn't that good for me. The main thing here was Angelina Love winning the title for the sixth time. I think that's the most of all of the reigns. So I think that was the main thing they were trying to get to, but they probably should have, pushed that a little bit deeper in. Like, hey, Angelina Love won the Knockouts title 6 times, woo woo! Like, no, they just kind of like, watch this match. It wasn't.
So DJ just said push it in deeper, talking about a knockouts match. Just throwing that out there. I'm sorry, I had to. It was there. It was just there. Anyway, the next the next match. I believe this was also was I believe this one was at Slammiversary. But it was Tigre Uno versus Old Manic, the red and blue Manic, versus Old Sonata before the Revolution, versus the Wolves, not the Wolves together, they were actually separate, but they were both in this match, versus Crazy Steve, in a 6-way ladder match for the X Division title. I really, and I wrote this in all caps, I really want to see this match again because, oh my god, this looked awesome. Oh, there was ladders, and there was a power bomb onto a ladder. There was a German suplex onto a ladder. Oh, oh, oh. May I reiterate? Oh, like I can't even imagine how much that hurts. But oh, I have to watch this match again. I have to figure out a way to watch it again. Wait, that website, it might be on there. I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Good luck finding it though, because I don't know what episode that was.
I think it was Slammiversary. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, your thoughts on this match besides
I mean, besides I remember this match and I love this match because this was like early, I think, in Sonata's title run, or maybe it might have been midway.
Yeah.
And I remember I said Sonata's not gonna get over unless he knows how to talk. And I was upset at myself for saying that because Sonata, I was in love with Sonata once I saw him in the ring because I like Sonata in the ring. Can we see more of Sonata in the ring? Please, 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 please.
Can we
But
see more of Crazy Steve in the ring, please? Please?
but you know, I was gonna write the people down, but I stopped with Uno, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards. I don't know why, but I did. Tigre Uno, by the way. This was early in his run as well as not X Division champion, but run as an X Division person there.
Now he's gone.
I don't think he's gone.
We've
Is he
seen him
gone?
in like one match in the past like 6 months. He's gone.
He's not. He's not gone. He's there. He's just not utilized well because they have low key and.
So
We saw him last week. We saw not last week, the week before last.
he's gone. We didn't see anybody last week.
I said the week before last. That's not what I meant. Okay. But I did like this match. I also want to go watch this match again because there was that German onto the ladder. Oh, the suplex to the. It wasn't even to the. The suplex to the outside that Sonata does. I don't really know why he does it, but it looks like it could hurt someone. But I like it.
He does it because he can.
Indeed. And that power bomb, like that was onto that like props ladder, and how Davey just sold it with his head, like his head. It looked like his head was like buried in sand, and he couldn't get out. Like he was there for like the rest of the match. Like he pretty much didn't even try the rest of the match. It was a good match though. If you haven't seen it, I would go back and watch it. And more than just the highlights that they showed tonight.
Okay. Moving on. We're both gonna have to watch that match again because wow, wow. Another backstage segment where you see Manic dragging. What's his name again?
Mahabale Shera.
Mahabale by his feet. Then Storm says, "Throw him in." Manic drags him in a small room, kind of like a closet, I guess. Storm says, "Feed him, give him just enough water to survive, and do not release him until I say so. And when I do, give him this." And Storm hands Manic a piece of paper. I was like, "Is this a wrestling show or is this like some weird like TV show? Is this like am I what am I watching?" We have slavery. We have what is going on here? Storm leaves and Manic leans down to Mahabale. Uh, they kind of made it seem like he was kind of coming to where he kind of could see what was going on, but he couldn't get up. And he's Manic says it's gonna be okay. So it's kind of like Manic's on his side, but Storm still has power over all of them. So it's kind of a struggle for. I think they're gonna go for the typical, Manic knows what's right, but he can't, he has to listen to his master and blah blah. I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited to see what's going on with this. It was good to actually see something currently that's going on in tonight's Impact, not just the best of. It kind of kept it fresh so we remember what's going on, so we're not like completely like, "Whoa, what was going on in Impact again?" Um, but anyway, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, especially I do agree with that they're keeping up with the canon a little bit because from what there's going to be a part two of this, um, and they're done with all of their tapings for the rest of this year, and it's December. So are we going to get four parts to this? That kind of, there's a part two to this, and it seems like they're promoting January of 2015, January 2015. But that's a point for another time. This made me feel like you ever watched a fraternity movie where like someone's pledging to be in a fraternity and like they're hazing the crap out of this person. This is what that felt like to me. It felt like he was getting hazed, and like don't feed him, like feed him just a little bit, give him some water. Like it felt like he was like getting some kind of hazing going on. Um, but I don't really know. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with this and what that note says. I don't think they're gonna actually tell us what the note says, but I'm interested to see. I'm a big time Revolution guy, so I'm in the Revolution actually. If you guys didn't know, so you know uh, I kind of know what's going down, but I don't want you guys to know too much.
Um, the next match, I honestly did not remember this match at all, so I literally have nothing to say about it except for it was the Von Erich family at Slammiversary. I don't remember this match at all. I really don't. Do you remember this match?
Yeah, I actually do remember this match because I thought that the Von Erichs were going to be in TNA, the younger Von Erichs, obviously. I thought they were actually going to come to TNA, and then like now it's the end of the year, and I'm like, where are they? Because I actually thought, I was like, maybe they got a contract or something. Oh yeah, we're getting new people, new tag team, yeah. I was just like that, but I remember this a little bit. I remember because I remember Kevin Von Erich doing the claw or whatever he does, and I remember the fans going crazy. That's about all I remember of that though. The hope.
Like, I remembered it slightly. Like I remember something with the Von Erichs coming back, but I didn't remember that they actually had a match or anything. But anyway, I'm gonna let you take the rest of this because that was where I ended, and you said you had written down the rest. So go ahead.
So next we got a little bit of MVP abusing his power. This is when MVP decided he wanted this title. He wanted the world championship. This was after what I felt like was a good face run with MVP. And he kind of just kind of what you kind of expected it though. Like you kind of expected them to go the heel route with MVP. So he's abusing his power basically, and he's like EY. you're gonna defend your title twice tonight. I think he had already defended against Kenny King at this point, um, and then he had to defend against Bobby Lashley. So then we get that match. Yeah, we get that we do get this match, and I thought this was a good match. And this was really the start of Bobby Lashley's um his actual run. And one thing about Bobby Lashley's run that was different from Magnus's run, two heels. Bobby Lashley doesn't talk. Magnus does talk, but Bobby Lashley didn't screw everyone out of winning all the time, where Magnus did. Like that was the big difference. Like Bobby Lashley's heel run felt like it was credible. It felt like he was actually destroying people. As far as like Magnus was like, hello, yeah, can you help me out real quick? Yeah. All right. See you later. Like practically, like he was basically like calling people up on the phone, trying to get as many people as he can to help him out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think about the MVP abusing his power and EY
Well,
versus Lash?
going back to the Magnus thing, uh, I felt like he didn't need to be doing that because he is talented in the ring. He can, you know, it's reasonable that he could win by himself. If it was a guy who isn't as good in the ring naturally, or then if he was doing that, it would be more credible. But he is a really good, talented superstar. So why are we doing this? It didn't make sense. But as for MVP kind of starting his heel turn and everything, you kind of felt it coming. It happens with every head person in every wrestling company ever, all the time. It doesn't matter who it is. It's the thing to do in wrestling anymore. And unfortunately, it started in one of the best eras in wrestling, the Attitude Era, is when it started. It started with the McMahons. It started with Eric Bischoff, and it's kind of snowballed out of control because everyone does it now. Um, but it almost, I don't know. I could see uh, MVP either as face or heel. I think he works a little bit better as a heel, but I don't necessarily think that he needs as many people in his like faction to it kind of at some points it is only Bobby Lashley and Kenny King, but it feels crowded at some points. It feels like, one of the guys gets kind of lost in the background. Like a lot of times Kenny King gets lost in the background. You don't really think of Kenny King, or it's more like Bobby Lashley and MVP are up front, and Kenny King's just that other guy that they happen to have there. But you know that night when he said you're gonna wrestle again, it was cool because um, EY is one of those guys who he's ready whenever. He's not gonna back down from any challenge, which is why I liked him as the champion because he did take any competitor that came. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter, what you've done in the past. He was going to give you a title shot. And I hope he gets the title back again. Um,
Another question about that was it better that do you think it was better that Bobby Lashley did get the title um, over MVP? I mean, never wishing like injury on someone, but do you think it was better for TNA for him to get it than it was for MVP? Because personally, for me, I thought that Bobby Lashley never really impressed me that much in WWE. But then, like with this heel run and with this title run, I felt like you could see his athleticism. You could see like
yeah,
you know how dominant he could really be, or how good he could work in the ring just in general.
yeah, and I know we've talked about this before in a previous video. It really wasn't his fault that we didn't see much of him in WWE. He was stuck in the ECW brand that they had. So, it you didn't get to see as much of him as you probably should have been able to. Um, as far, I think it was better that they went along with the um, Bobby Lashley winning over um, or MVP winning, just because at that time MVP was more of a kind of executive authority figure, and it really wouldn't have made sense for him to have the title. It would almost be like if Triple H won the World Heavyweight Championship right now. He's the COO. It wouldn't make sense in the storyline. And plus, he wasn't like the WWE champion MVP when he was in WWE, but he's known well enough around the world that he didn't need the title. It wouldn't have done anything for him. Uh, but
Yeah, I I understand that. Um, Now we get a Willow sighting.
woo,
Um, we get a Willow sighting. Angle calls out Willow, and basically he wants Jeff Hardy back. And he's like, I need the best competitor. Um, and basically we get this battle royal. And we're trying to figure out if Willow's gonna. I mean, not, if it's gonna be Willow or Jeff Hardy who's gonna come out to compete in this battle royal. And here comes Jeff Hardy. He comes out, and the last two in the battle royal was him and EY. So Jeff Hardy wins this battle royal to become the number one contender to fight against Lashley. So then we get Jeff Hardy versus Lashley. I remember this match very vividly, and not just because it was just not too long ago. Just some of the crazy stuff that happened in this match, like Jeff Hardy getting his leg sweep, landing like shoulder first on the steps, looked pretty rough. Um, Obviously the swanton onto the steps where Lashley moved out of
oh,
the way. Yeah. Um, oh my good. I mean, even I was watching it again when my mom was down here on the treadmill one day, and she was like, "That dude's crazy." Like I was like, "Yeah, he he is. He's pretty crazy." Um, I didn't really understand why he was going to Swanton um, Lashley's head anyway. Was he trying to kill him? Um, because that was a little much in regard anyway. And then Lashley hits his spear for the win. So what'd you think of the Jeff Hardy return and the Jeff Hardy Lashley match?
uh, I was happy for his return. I felt like uh, the Willow thing kind of got stale really quick in TNA, um, which could have been just the way they booked it or whatever. Uh, but I was excited to see him back, even though I always say I was always a huge Jeff Hardy fan, and even though it's a fact that he's not the same guy that he used to be. You can even see it in any match that he has anymore. You can see he it takes a toll on him. He doesn't come out to the ring like he used to. He doesn't run out to the ring like he used to. He doesn't do as much high risk as he used to do. But I think for a big match like that, the Swanton, don't know that it was the best idea for him to do, but I think a lot of things that Jeff Hardy does aren't the best things that he could do.
You,
But
you know what made me mad though about that?
but
Like you know how the piece on the top of the stairs moved?
yeah,
People were like, "Those fake steps." Like I was like, Okay, you go do that, and then you tell me how it feels, please. Because
How are they fake? If they were fake, they would have like crumbled. Like no, they didn't even move.
yeah, and also like if it's a little bit, I think it's probably a little bit more painful if the target moves while like as you're hitting it than it is if it stays stationary anyway.
Yeah, it was just ow, I, ow. My back hurts just thinking about it. Like, I
Yeah,
can't even imagine how much that hurt.
it was yeah, it was crazy. And as we were looking at these main events, especially like these Impact main events later on in the show, as they got to the later on portion of the show, you kind of got to see how good like the main events had gotten because there were like it was a time where there was like just main event after main event that was just really good. I'm really surprised they didn't show that X Division match of the year is what I'm calling it, where Sonata faced Austin Aries at one of the Impact shows. Maybe they'll show it next week because that match was really really good. I enjoyed that match so much. I don't know if you remember that match. Um,
Uh, I'd have to see it again.
I think it may have been like the second time they faced because I think because I know they fought at like one of the Wrestle One things, and that's how Sonata got the title. And then you'd have to look that up because that match was really good. I
Yeah,
thought. But that is it, actually. That is it. But part two of the biggest moments of the year is coming up next week. So we're not gonna get another. We're gonna not gonna get an Impact um, show again, a legit Impact show again. But one thing I do think this is doing for Impact is if this is like more, it's a little bit for the people who watched it all year, but it's a little bit more for the people who are kind of coming in for the first time and maybe seeing like this is what Impact is about. Like we're not perfect, but we're gonna try our best to put on good matches. Um, you know, so join us at Destination America on January 15th. But I think it's a lot about showing what Impact Wrestling is all about a little bit too. Like we don't get a lot of promotion by Impact Wrestling, or well, God, I don't even want to know. Screw Impact Wrestling. We don't get a lot of promotion by TNA, but I think this is a little bit of that promotion that we kind of hope we'd get. So what were your overall thoughts of this show? And you
I
can give your
agree.
shout outs as well if you want to.
I, yeah, I agree with that. That it's kind of if you watch this, you kind of get an idea. But at the same time, they still aren't promoting the show itself. Like like we've said before, unless you are watching Impact or not Impact, but Spike TV an hour before the show, you are never going to see an Impact commercial. It's not even on like they don't even have a commercial on like the day before saying tomorrow on Impact. It's literally like an hour before the show, tonight on Impact. That's it. So how is anyone supposed to know that it's there anyway? Um, is what bothers me. Unless you have friends that say, "Hey, go check this out," uh, you're not gonna know.
Or
Um,
unless like your friend just walks in on you while you're watching it and just happens to sit down and start watching it. so, it's
yeah,
about how it's
I
going.
mean that's honestly how I ran into Impact back. This was way early in Impact when it was back like the Asylum days. Um, I was flipping through the channels and I saw another wrestling show on, and it happened to be Impact, early Impact, or TNA. That's how I got into it. And unless you do that, unless you're flipping around the channels Wednesday night, you're not gonna see it.
Also, it's the same thing with Ring of Honor. And I know not everyone gets Ring of Honor, but I know there are certain places. I haven't seen not one commercial about Ring of Honor being on ABC on Saturday mornings in this area. Like I see, I haven't even seen it during the shows. Like it's similar in both aspects. It's like WWE gets it. Like I mean they don't promote Raw a ton either, but they do promote it other than when the show was on.
Yeah. Um, but I'm actually looking to see maybe do I have it yet? Is it down here yet? No. You don't see Ring of Honor. Damn it. Oh, why? Anyway, follow me on the Twitter. Hit me up, send me messages, send me tweets, send me anything. I don't care. I need attention. I just want to be loved. Um, but yeah, like you said, we will have part two next week. See what else they have for us as Impact fans, and if you're an Impact fan, let people know about Impact too. Since they don't have commercials, that's what you're there for, to provide information for other wrestling fans. But over to DJ for the his closing remarks of the night.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of wrestling fans are kind of they shy away from telling their friends about watching it. Even if you even watch any of my other videos, like even my NFL videos, I shout out my Impact stuff, and I know that it's only me and Casey that watch it. Andrew and Lamar don't even watch it, but you never know because like if you continue to push it in there, sometimes they're just like, well, I might as well go watch it. So it doesn't hurt. No, no, don't say anything about what I just said. No,
It has to be
no.
said.
No, it does not have to be said. No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Okay, I'll let that one go. But the viewers know you said it.
Viewers, ignore what I just said. Okay. If you made it this far, feel free to hit buttons that you like to hit. Thumbs up, thumbs down. No, not thumbs down. No, 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 no. Okay. Thumbs up would be fine. If you didn't like the video, then let us know why you didn't like the video because I can't improve. Don't know stuff. So let me know stuff. Okay. I want to know stuff. Stuff. Okay. Also, follow me on Twitter because it's right there, and you can follow me on the Twitter, and I will talk to you every moment of. Well, I will talk to you as much as possible. Maybe, probably not. I
He
will
doesn't
try.
reply.
Okay.
He doesn't reply to me. He doesn't reply to anybody.
I will reply to everyone, always, or something. Feel free to subscribe. Also, I told him I would shout him out. I meant to shout him out at the beginning of the video, but I didn't get to because I didn't leave this video. So I'm going to shout him out now. Aaron Roop, I think it is. Better be Roop, because if it's not Roop, I'm going to be upset because I wasn't supposed to forget him. So shout out. I'm pretty sure it is Roop, though. I think I did pretty good. I think I did pretty good. I think I did pretty good. Um, Come on. Yeah, I was right. Ha ha. Aaron Root. So shout out to you, buddy. I told you I was gonna shout you out on the next Impact review, and I shouted you out again on the another video we did because I did a video earlier than I expected. So
He's
shout
sexy.
out to you, Aaron Root.
Knows it. What?
What was that?
I said because you're sexy and we know it.
Maybe. But feel free to share the video in any way you see fit. I'll see you guys later. I'm hoping for an NXT review tomorrow. Finals week is chopping my toes off at this point, so I'm trying. It's kind of like my finals week is split into 2 weeks, and that's not the best thing ever. But tomorrow will be an NXT review. It will be a little later than I want to do it because I got to work until 9. So it'll be a little later than I want it to be, but it will be here. It will be here indeed at some point in the near future, as in Thursday or Friday. Probably Thursday, but maybe Friday. But it'll be here. Just keep looking out. All right.
It'll
See
be
you guys
Thursday.
later. It'll be here.
It'll be
right
Thursday
here.
on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast for only free.
It'll be here, right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No, I sound like Mick Foley. See you guys later.